Why don't you give me a sign? Like the sea that leaves a trail along that shore. It's not your problem, it's mine. Everybody thinks that I'm okay. Sometimes I think I am too. I'm on the outside looking in. I'm waiting for the shockwaves to begin. Oh, won't you let me hold you for one time? Just a rainy day in a London cafe, a London cafe. So give me one last serenade. Say to me, or swear at me till the night turns into day. And it was a shame when daylight faded, because we didn't notice at all.
I want to study the world, to see how things are connected.
Where are you going?
The technical school for artists.
The women's entrance is in the back.
Hello, I'm Sophia Jessica, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
Well, it's a fascinating story. I had heard about Hilma before. I'd seen some of her paintings, and I remember I noticed them right away because they stood out for me somehow. I'd never seen anything like it before, so I did a little research about her history, and yeah. So when the opportunity came up to be in this film as Rudolf Steiner, a very controversial figure, but still very influential to this day, as founder of the Waldorf schools. Yeah, I didn't have to think long, and Lasse has been one of my favorite directors for a long time. So,
yeah, I was super excited by the idea of working with Lasse. I'm a fan of his work, and when we did the initial meeting, he made it clear that improvisation was a big part of. It was actually part of the read-through we did. We improvised a lot, and that was part of the way he wanted to approach it. And so I was really excited by the idea of working with him and exploring his methods of improvisation. Hilma's story, I'm kind of amazed to say that I didn't know at all prior to coming onto this project. I'd seen some of her work, but didn't know anything about her story behind it. And I just think it's such a fascinating and important story to tell. And I've not gotten bored once. I just keep getting kind of the layers get deeper and deeper of understanding and unpicking. Not just her, but the other women she was working with, the society she was part of, and how that society was kind of questioning and challenging things. Yeah, I think it's a fascinating story, and about time it gets told. Oh, sorry, and my play a character called Matilda Nielsen. She was the founder of several spiritual magazines and societies, and in the film we kind of posit the idea that she brought Hilma into the more spiritual world, and then introduced her to Sigrid, the medium that Maeve plays within the group, and they began this process of seances, talking to spirits, that became, I think, very impactful on their lives and also on the work that then led to Hilma's paintings.
Yeah, so I did know about Hilma, and I loved her work very much. And so when I saw that Lasse was making it, it just was, of course, I was really excited. And I play Sigrid Hedman, who is a medium who sort of, they began the seances with her as the medium, and then Hilma began to become involved as well, and then I think they sort of shared the channeling work. I have actually my phone cover is a Hilma, one of the altarpieces. I just saw it, and I saw the exhibition at the Guggenheim, and I've just always been. I just think they're extraordinary. They're so bodily, and they just like pour through. They're just like nothing else. so yes, I knew, and when I saw the film title and what the brief, it was just a no-brainer.
I wasn't familiar. I mean, I'd seen some of her imagery because it was sort of. I mean, it's been seeping into kind of pop culture for a while, but I didn't know her name or story. I studied art history. I studied contemporary art at university, and she wasn't part of the syllabus, as we know. Kandinsky and some of the other male artists at that time have, until very recently, been considered the kind of pioneers of abstract art in the West. And this kind of revisionist history feels so important and so meaningful, I think, to be a part of telling.
Yeah, I'd read how she was rediscovered by Swedish journalists in the 70s, I believe, and then slowly got wider and wider recognition, but I wasn't familiar with her story and all the details. So.
And the part also I'll add that I think this film does a really good of. I mean, there's lots of things it uncovers, but I love the way it explores the relationship of the five and how her work, which is increasingly being recognised, which is fantastic. It's also kind of another layer of recognition to recognise that it wasn't actually just her by herself. Her work came out of a very collaborative effort where for over 10 years these five women would meet every single week and do seances. We don't know exactly what they did, but we know they did seances. We know they spoke about religion, philosophy, science, technology, politics, and the early kind of motifs of abstract art that we see in her paintings came out of those seances and were drawn in those seances in a very kind of collaborative way. So I think exploring those origins, which is much more spiritual, much more collaborative, as the origins of Western abstract art, is really powerful.
I don't know in terms of my career if I take it with me, but in terms of my just life, I'd loved painting the Hilma, the 10 largest we were actually, but also the kind of the collaboration within the group that's portrayed it felt very much like that as well. Like Tora hadn't done a job before this, and we were there to support, to like let her bring Hilma through. It was like that felt really strong to me too, and I enjoyed that feeling of just putting it. You just like it wasn't about us, but it was. Like it created a hole through this true giving over.
Yeah, there was a really. I mean, it's great that Lasse cast really lovely ladies. I thought there was just a really lovely dynamic between us that I think helped then mirror probably the dynamic of those women. And yeah, for me, a favourite moment is the painting. Getting to, it's just such a joy. I love painting anyway. I would carry on after they finished the cut.
Yeah,
just
carry
so
on
relaxed.
Continuity.
But yeah, getting to it's like a dream to get to feel into painting these huge, colourful works of art. It was really fun.
Yeah, I didn't have that big a part. Well, every job is different, and but the atmosphere on set here, I really enjoyed that too. It was very, very familiar, very collaborative, and yeah.
You have a very important part.
I didn't say it wasn't important. I said it wasn't big.
It holds space in the film.
I know. I'm talked about a lot.
Psychic space.
One of my favorite films is Arizona Dream by Emil Kusturica. It's one of my. It's been one of my favorite films for a long time because it's so imaginative. It's so. It's got great actors in it. I like Kusturica as a director because he goes wild. He goes crazy. It's very. I don't know how to explain that. Watch it.
And this is one of my least favorite questions. So I more kind of follow filmmakers. I've been watching a lot of Celine Sciamma recently, Woman and Portrait on Fire, and Petite Maman, and I think they're just I think her just her way of making film is like very female, very it's like, yeah, I would more follow filmmakers and through, because it feels like it changes over time. What your favourite film
follow
is.
filmmakers, yeah, more than film. There's a film I saw the other day, and is it 21st Century Women?
Mike Mills.
Yeah, I thought that was beautiful. I absolutely love that. I've been trying to watch more Godard since he passed away. Pierre Le Fou is one of my favourite of all-time films. And he's got a really long list of films, I discovered, so there's so many I still haven't seen. And I also have a 7-year-old daughter and love watching Studio Ghibli because I think their films are brilliant. And it's something that I can love watching and a 7-year-old child can love watching, and finding that compatibility is quite a sweet spot. Yeah, I love Spirited Away. Yeah, amazing, can't wait. Hungry Ghosts. Stories are everything. I think like our world is like made up of stories and stories we tell.
That's what we.
But not just this job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just mean all life is stories.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we even realise how much we see our reality through the frame of the stories that we like visualise and hold. And so I think there's few powerfuler ways to think about changing the world than to change the stories we tell ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, this I feel like people are talking about it more and more. This kind of play, like the ability for humans and the want of humans to play and imagine and shape, different ways of being in this world that is in crisis. You know, that we have to find a way of finding our way through that. And I just think to have a job where that's what's asked of you.
Is really fun.
Is really fun and really important. Like it should be everyone. It should be open. We should all be able to be like this. But I think it's such a privilege.
Nothing to add. At least for me, this is why I wanted to become an actor, because telling stories and is something that's been done since humans existed. Well, it's just that I think Hilma deserves. Her works deserve to be known by many more people, and she's got an interesting life story, and that should be heard and remembered.
And I would say the crazy powerful story behind her work, and awareness and appreciation of her work, but also the intention behind her work, which was like seeing the world in a different way, seeing the less visible aspects of reality. I think my hope would be that it kind of opens people's minds to some of the ideas she was trying to communicate through her work. And also to just not underestimate people who might be considered crazy, just because somebody's different in society doesn't mean that they should be negated or belittled. Like often they might have something really important to share that's just actually ahead of its time. And that might be true today, just as it was 100 years ago.
Yeah, all those things, and the very way of working, that working with other people, working through methods where it's not just visual, it's not just the five senses, it's this whole person, whole world kind of methodology. And just like a kind of openness to that, there's so much we don't know and can come through us.
And the best work is often collaborative. This idea of like single geniuses, single heroes, I think is really problematic. That great art is usually a collaborative process.
And it's never been true,
It's never been true.
Even in the medieval times, Michelangelo, they
all
had
the
teams,
assistants,
And they also borrowed off all the artists before them and the influences around them, and yet we seem fixated in our society of like there being like Steve Jobs, this like singular genius hero that's incidentally often been a man. But if we shift away, even to include women, I think it's also worth shifting away from this like heroic individual into a slightly more collaborative understanding of genius.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more content next time.
I was holding the brush, but I didn't paint it myself.
We need to show this work for all of us.
What do you think?
They just can't see exactly what you see.
No one understands what you're doing. Hilma aufgelenkt?
Sorry, it's an old photo.
I'm here on the largest of the Balearic Islands, Mallorca, with the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful mountainous landscape, the thriving city of Palma, quaint little market towns, a growing number of luxury hotels. It's no surprise that the likes of Audrey Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor like to holiday here. So come and join me as I take you round Mallorca.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.